Hi, folks. Welcome back to the Vinyl Vault. We had ourselves a little bit of a vacation. Tony, last week you took the week off, but you kept yourself busy. Let's talk about that for a second.
A little bit. It was music related. My band, TCT.
And what does that stand for?
That stands for Tony, Chris, Tom. The names of the members of the band. We decided to hire a former Color 10 audio guy to help us record our second studio album.
Congratulations. When does it come out?
We are hoping for an actual Christmas release. It is not a Christmas album, but hey, why not? Let's just make it a Christmas album.
You know what? Thriller wasn't a Halloween song. This can be a Christmas album.
Yeah.
Any chance it's coming out on vinyl?
I thought of it.
Seems really expensive.
I thought at least making one vinyl just so that we can have it on a wall or something like that. But for all you single digit fans, TCT fans that are out there, mostly Parker Patchen, maybe we'll make one for you.
I would like to listen to it. Don't have me review it, but no. All right, so I want to talk about this for a second. Folks, this is the first time this has happened in Vinyl Vault history. I'm honestly surprised it took this long. We had a breakdown in communication. We both are very passionate fans of Def Leppard, I'm assuming. So much that we both listened to two separate albums.
Boy, did we.
I listened to Pyromania, and
I listened to Hysteria.
Tony listened to Hysteria. In our defense, folks, they both end with IA. That's all we got.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, we could do a double review.
Why not?
You could tell me about Hysteria, and I could tell you about Pyromania.
Please.
Okay.
It'll make me feel better for
No,
it's absolutely wrong one.
No one's fault. But Pyromania was the third studio album from Def Leppard. They had just finished High and Dry, which had the famous hit Bring On the Heartbreak. And so this, I believe, was their first album with Mutt Lange, who is a friend of the show. I can only assume he's a friend of the show. We talk about him pretty much often. Ironically, this went number 2 in the U.S., but only number 18 in the U.K., which is where this band is from. Not so much of a home field advantage. This was kind of entered, I want to say Pyromania was kind of that album that took them from a rock album or rock group, but tried to slowly make them like a pop rock group to an extent.
Right.
Which, from what I understand, in Hysteria, they kind of fully embraced the pop rock sound. But yeah, Mutt Lange's on this. Another fun fact: Thomas Dolby. You know the name Thomas Dolby?
Dolby sounds familiar.
He is the gentleman that wrote "She Blinded Me with Science." He plays keyboards on this album a couple times, but he's credited as Booker T. Bofin. I don't know why he didn't just go with his name.
Wait, that's my nickname.
Wait a minute. This album came out in 1983. This was before Rick Allen had his accident and had to have his arm severed as a result of it. So when we had teased it a couple weeks ago about one of the main questions with this band is one arm or two. There's kind of I don't want to say inside joke. I feel like the word joke is insensitive in this moment, but there's always been this kind of like niche comment about Def Leppard albums as, was this when the drummer had one arm or two arms? This was two arms. Tony, you listened to Hysteria, which had one arm.
Yes, and it was half. No, it was actually still a really, really solid drumming wise. He would figure out a way of playing a lot of what would be with his missing arm with its legs using an electronic drum set, and so very, very innovative. And I think the music industry was very, very excited and was really rooting for Rick and his comeback. And obviously, when we get to Hysteria and talk about Hysteria, we'll talk about all the accolades that they were able to do when that album released.
Let me ask you this: where do you feel Def Leppard maybe not ranks, but where do you feel like their home is in the history of classic rock? Because they're definitely one of the best like 80s rock bands. But I feel like whenever you look at rock music as a whole, they definitely fall through the cracks.
I mean, I feel like growing up, the T-shirts that I would see was typically like you just saw Def Leppard everywhere. But I think their sound was very 80s, was very that glam rock in my opinion. And I mean, I think once grunge really came out, it really killed off just that entire genre. So I wouldn't say that they're lost in time because
Oh yeah, no.
their songs are so catchy. They're made. It's pop rock, so there's more mainstream appeal, and thus more people knowing and remembering their songs. So I wouldn't say that they would hit a greatest rock artist of all time. But if we classify it further down to, your glam rock or glam metal or anything like that, or I'd say that's as far.
They're kind of because they're competing with Guns N' Roses, they're competing with Poison, they're competing with
Motley Crue. All those bands.
Bob Seger.
all of those rock bands and Bob Seger had a very in particular look. Now, like, especially once they were classified as glam, they weren't huge into the dressing up in that way. But I mean, they had mullets, they had like the hair, they had the look, but they didn't go as far as somebody like Motley Crue has a very distinct look.
Yeah, they didn't wear like the tight pants and the
right.
But yeah, no, this album, like I said, I got this album about a month ago on vinyl. I should have brought it in. That would have cleared up some of the confusion pretty quickly. But this album has it released 4 singles. Let me see if I've got. Oh man, I got my notes. Hold on. Okay. The first single was Photograph. That was released in January of '83. Rock of Ages, June of '83. Foolin', August '83. And Too Late for Love, November of '83. So, kind of weird now that I think about it. They released the album in January of '83, but then continuously released singles throughout the rest of the year. I always thought it used to be the opposite. You would release singles from an album and then release the whole album. Is that normal?
Yeah, I think that's typically pretty normal.
Gosh dang it, these guys they're backwards. So obviously, like I said, I didn't listen to Hysteria, you didn't listen to Pyromania, but the best songs on this album really exemplify that glam rock. So obviously you've got Photograph, classic rock song. It's one of those, I know Pour Some Sugar on Me is in some spots in the world maybe considered more of an iconic Def Leppard song. I think Photograph is probably their most iconic song. I don't think it's their best. I think it's their most iconic. I feel like there needs to be a difference between what you're most known for and what you're best at. And then you got Foolin', which I think that's a great song. Rock of Ages. I understand the hype with Rock of Ages. It's the title of a very famous Broadway show and Tom Cruise film, and only Tom Cruise is in it, nobody else. And I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Rock of Ages.
Okay.
Personally. I mean, I understand the attraction of it.
Yeah.
It insists upon itself. Whatever that means. I've heard that in some places.
I think the problem that at least I have with Def Leppard is just that they have a very formulaic sound, and it's not. I don't think it's distinct enough unless you're talking about maybe their first 2 albums, which is a little bit more like heavy metal, a little bit more just guitar riff, led. But for the most part, once they figured out their sound, it was very much their sound. And I think it starts to kind of blend together. I think they're one of those bands similar to when we had our conversation about Queen, is that their best albums will probably be more so a greatest hits album. Just a compilation of their best stuff, because there's definitely some songs that I had issues with Hysteria.
Well, you bring up the formula.
Yes,
Kind of sound like a formula. According to some of the research I've done, they actually did the drums last when they recorded this.
Okay.
They didn't record anything live or anything, but they actually fired their original guitarist halfway through recording this album.
Yeah.
So kind of picking up the pieces for Phil Collen. Colin?
I think it's
Collen.
I think it's Colin.
Is it, you think it's Colin?
I would hate it if it was Colin. Just saying, it wasn't Colin.
But in terms of, for people that have not heard this album, hear the album, go listen to it. But I think the two best tracks, or not maybe the two best tracks, I think the best track on this album is Too Late for Love. It's a slower, I don't want to call it a ballad because it rocks pretty hard. But it's just like that essential Def Leppard sound, just high screeching vocals, and the drums. I don't mean to sound insulting when I say this.
Here we go.
I genuinely thought the car accident happened. Don't. I genuinely thought the car accident happened before this album.
Yeah.
Because when you listen to some of the drum tracks, it's kind of basic.
Okay.
It's kind of basic. Not a lot of complicated fills. The rudiments or whatever. Kick on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Imagine my surprise when I find out that he's been doing that with 2 arms the whole time. But yeah, Too Late for Love is a good one. An underrated track on here is Rock Till You Drop. That is like your essential, or your stereotypical. You hear it, it's like I don't know how to describe it. If you were to play like an 80s glam rock song for somebody, that would be a really good pick, because it sounds like Poison. It sounds like Bon Jovi. It sounds like Whitesnake. And then they start, they come in with Photograph, and so I think it's a good album. It's not a Mount Rushmore album. I think it's a good album. I think it's probably their best in terms of how many good songs are on here. But I do agree with you. I think Def Leppard probably benefits more from greatest hits albums, because they had so many. Because like High and Dry, their second album, the best song on there was Bring On the Heartbreak. I couldn't tell you any other song off that album.
Right.
So I mean, why listen to that whole album when they can just take that one song and put it on everything else? But yeah, so that was Pyromania. You listened to Hysteria.
I did listen to Hysteria.
And I mean, Hysteria, I've only listened to Pour Some Sugar on Me and Hysteria. I think those both are in that album.
Yes. You would be correct.
You definitely, just judging off of those two songs, you can definitely tell this is very glammy pop.
Oh,
They fully embraced it.
Yeah, at this point, they definitely figured it out and fine-tuned it. And Mutt Lange was even more so a part of the writing and the producing.
I love Mutt Lange.
I know you do. And this was more or less the audition for him to go on and work with his future wife, Shania Twain, and make that album with her. Yeah,
Shania, if you're watching this, Mutt did you dirty.
He did.
Tony would never do you like that.
No. So Hysteria, fourth studio album, was released in 1987. This is, as we said, right after our drummer lost his arm. Lost his arm in a car accident. Was trying to pass by another vehicle, went into some brushes and trees, and lost his arm from that.
I read that they were able to reattach it, but it got infected.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
that's like that glimmer of hope that everything's going to be okay,
like,
and then
what's that comedian? He made a joke. It's like Superman rescuing you and then dropping you from higher. I feel bad for him. I'm glad he's been able to continue performing in the way that he's been able to perform. I know that they had to make adjustments to his drum kit, things like that.
Yeah, just a combination of an electric kit and a normal acoustic kit. But like his pedals would do a lot of more things that his former arm would do. But he figured it out. I mean, I believe the stories were he locked himself into a room to try to figure it all out. And once he was ready, the band came in and had a real emotional moment that Rick Allen still has his chops. He could still do the very complex drum parts that he did in his previous work.
Just not in Pyromania.
Right. So for those of you who don't know Hysteria or haven't heard it, this is their biggest album, number-wise. And they released seven singles from this album.
7?
Yeah, in a span of 3 years, too.
That's like Taylor Swift stuff, man.
Yeah. I mean, this was a huge album. This would end up being the 56th most purchased album of all time. So, I mean, it was huge.
Do you think that's because of the glam, or do you think they were hitting their prime?
I think it was probably all of above. I mean, they found their sound from Pyromania, honed it, and then I think it was the comeback of Rick Allen as well. And yeah, it took a second for the band's album to really blow up because they released Animal and then Women, and it wasn't until I think Pour Some Sugar on Me did it like extremely blow up, and then everyone was like, we have to get this album. And pretty much from then on, every few months they would release the next single, which would be Hysteria, and then Armageddon It, Love Bites, and Rocket.
I've heard Love Bites.
Yeah, Love Bites is was in the top three. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know that first lyric, it's Love Bites.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to get, copyrighted. Well, as a type 1 diabetic, Pour Some Sugar on Me is incredibly offensive. I just want to make that very clear.
Well, you
as a glucose guardian myself.
you don't ingest it,
Well, it gets in the skin.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
I understand.
What is the message of that song?
Pour Some Sugar on Me?
Yeah, other than the literal interpretation. I just want to hear how you interpreted that song.
Yeah, they're very anti-diabetic. So yeah, that's the case. That entire album, and one of my issues with that with this album is that it's about one thing and pretty much one thing only, and that's.
Can I guess?
Please.
Is it sex?
It is. It is. Oh my gosh! Like, how did you know?
Ooh, we might have to bleep that.
No,
well, it's. I mean, the
what,
80s,
was Pyromania like that?
Pyromania didn't. I mean, Too Late for Love implies that it's too late to pour sugar on your counterpart.
Yeah.
Rock Till You Drop, classic rock song. Stage Fright. I can only. I mean, Billy's Got a Gun. These songs are not about making love. Coming Under Fire, Action Not Words. One's called Die Hard the Hunter, which I think you would like that one.
Okay.
I kept getting it confused with Craven the Hunter.
Okay.
And so I was just picturing Aaron Taylor Johnson just making bad movies.
Yeah.
Wait, are we on a different show now? No, it's just, I mean, you remember the 80s as much as I remember the 80s.
Yeah.
And, you saw this. I mean, the 50s really shunned anything that was,
risque.
Yeah. And then the 60s kind of had like the peace flower movement, and then the 70s was all about, yeah. And then the 80s really started to like market sex appeal.
Yes, I think the real drugs, sex, rock and roll, like that whole Like,
Yeah, Conway Twitty was not talking about this stuff.
but that Bob Seger, that's all
Bob
he was
Seger.
talking
What do you think
about.
Night Moves was about, man? No, I mean, let me ask you this. I want to see if we're on the same page.
Okay.
What do you think is the most iconic, like, sex appeal thing in the glam rock era? I have an idea, but I want to see if you have the same idea.
What do
as
you
me.
mean?
Like, the most iconic image of, like, the sex sells, sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of movement. I have an image from a music video in my head. I want to see if we come up with the same one.
I would say was it one of the Motley Crue videos? There's a woman getting licked in the face.
That might be Poison.
Or maybe
I don't know, because I know the Poison album has whoever is on the cover with like the really long
Right.
tongue. I was thinking more Whitesnake with the lady on the car.
Yeah. It was definitely between the two, but yeah, like
Yeah. Was that David Coverdale's car? Cloverdale? I don't know. I wasn't there. My media pass did not get approved. But you didn't like the album, or you did like the album?
mostly like the album, but had issues with it. The Def Leppard, after listening to it, I was just like, okay, I can see why this is popular, and at the times of everyone kind of doing the same thing. Yeah, like I mean, the sound is great, the songs super catchy, but again, it just kind of gets old because it's sort of the same topic, and they're just kind of saying it and chanting it. And repeating it the same way, so it kind of felt like you're listening to the same song.
Well, Your Honor, the chanting was very popular with the Beastie Boys. Now we can't discount the Beastie Boys for chanting.
Right.
It's like half their rhymes.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's formulaic, but I can see why music started to change afterwards. Like why it hasn't, like glam rock has yet to make a reemergence or anything.
I'll tell you what, I'm first in line. If glam rock makes a return, it's harder than yacht rock, obviously. It's not as hard as Metallica, thank goodness. It's just right in that middle area where it's like it's work appropriate rock.
Yes,
You could play it on the. You could. You don't. I don't know if you remember this, but like in between like 2005 and like 2015, there was this weird thing with like people having radios at their desks while they work. And so they would always say like tune in at work and no commercials during the workday and stuff like that. Def Leppard was probably on a lot of stations. It wasn't too hard. It wasn't too soft.
sure.
It was just right.
A perfectly commercialized band that.
Okay,
fit
see,
the
now you're
mainstream.
making it sound like a bad thing.
Well,
Perfect sellouts for commercials.
So that's the point that I'm getting to. That when you're referring to my beloved Metallica, I can see why Metallica came out, because they're like, what is this? Like, it's fine every now and then, but we need something more variety or whatever. And I could see where that leads to grunge, where they're like, hey, yeah, not everybody is just getting laid and doing all these things. Like there's other things. There's
People have
terrible things that
problems.
are like
There's so many injustices in the world.
and you can see where like rap is just like, hey, yeah, we've got a message too, and we're not living the same life here.
It's almost like every era of music feeds off of itself. It's almost like a societal reaction to the current music that spawns the next era or resurgence. I'm noticing a lot of, you don't listen to today's country, and that's fine. I rarely dabble in it. Every once in a while, I'll come across a song that I can't not listen to. But I've noticed that a lot of today's country music is moving in that 90s direction.
Yeah.
And I think it's because people have gotten tired of that like Florida Georgia line mix of like pop country. I think people have grown tired of it, so you're seeing a resurgence in something that people are familiar with.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if glam rock is on the way back, because I think people are, people crave what they don't have, and right now we don't have glam rock.
Sure.
Like I said, I think I'm open to seeing it if it ever comes back. If Def Leppard comes to Springfield, I will see if my calendar is open.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I think any genre always has that chance to come back. I don't think it's like a necessarily a dead genre. And once a new generation listens to it and realizes, oh yeah, like this is really good music, or fun music, or whatever they're looking for, and however they connect to it, the music will always be there. Def Leppard's legacy is here, and it's here to stay. So,
well, they're clearly better than Ben Folds.
Still so angry about it.
I am irate. Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. So
don't forget this guy.
Other way. Guy. There you go.
That guy over there.
Now you're just pointing at the
Hates
band.
Queen.
I don't hate Queen. So we've talked about enough Def Leppard for this year. 2 albums. I can only assume you also recommend people listen to it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, if I can do a quick opinion, if it's on vinyl, I think the first half is way better than the last half.
Okay.
And you'll find most of your hits, your singles, all there as well. But there's some that are decent. If you like Hysteria is on the later half there. But yes, there are some songs that aren't about the same things.
Was there anything in your album that you heard that you were like, oh, I think I'm going to add this specific song to my playlist rotation or something?
I think I kind of fell in love with Animal again.
Okay.
Because that chorus is something that I've always, it's just like an earworm. And I want, and I need, like that. That's always been an earworm for me.
Yeah.
And I always forget, like, oh yeah, that was Def Leppard. So that kind of like rekindled my love for that song in particular.
Yeah.
So
they found a dead horse. And they beat the hell out of it.
Yeah, I mean that's what's been added, I suppose, to a temporary playlist, I'm sure.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Well, next week is your pick. Have you given any consideration and or potential tease?
Yes, I thought that we should change up the genres once again and go towards a different one, a little bit slightly more modern, but also I'd be interested to hear your opinion on this very, very controversial artist. He goes by 3 names. So,
oh man,
yeah,
nothing's coming to my brain right now, so this will be really fun.
Okay, so yeah, that's
All
what
right.
we're gonna be talking about next week,
folks. Like we said before, never take our word for it. Listen to yourself. Listen to these albums. Come with your conclusions. If you have any recommendations, feel free to pass them our way. We'll see what happens. And Tony, final thoughts.
Keep listening to music.
Never stop.
Never stop. That's it.
All right. See you next time.
Thanks.